It's gonna be me.
It is very cold. I wasn't even gonna go anywhere today. Let me rephrase that. Wasn't even gonna go for a walk, but I couldn't go yesterday because of the snowstorm. There's no excuse not to go. I don't want to get stuck in a rut of not walking because of the snow. But it's cold. I want to get like 2 miles in and then call it a day. I can't wait for spring. It's not really the snow and the cold. I don't really care about that. It's the ice and the unpredictable sidewalks. All the sidewalks seem to be done, but a lot of times there's problems like here. Because people take care of the sidewalk and stop at the end, or they take care of it and the plows ruin it. So often, you're better off walking in the street. And the roads are kind of slippery, and I'd rather not get hit by a car. I just want to walk on the sidewalk, mind my own business. Ooh, see? Well, no, you probably didn't see. I almost fell. Well, with the wind chill, it's gotta be below 0. The sun is nice, but all my facial hair is frozen. It's cold, but we did it. Forced ourselves out of bed, out of warmth, to freeze, to slip, to get wet feet, to swallow boogers. This is what it's all about. If my quest could be summarized, it's this. This sucks, but wet feet. We're alive. Feeling the things, smelling the things. Not really. It smells like mucus, but this is what I want to do. Because right now, I feel like we're living slow and we're living intentionally. I have to be careful walking because it got wet and then froze, and then last night we got a little bit of snow, so it got covered with this like really fine powder, and it's pretty slippery right now. Oh. This little alley right here is, yeah, I know I look crazy talking to myself and pointing. That's where all the dog shit is. And the city sends this little machine, you know, I think you saw it in one of the other videos, to plow like this and this. But they didn't do this for some reason. So when I was just walking, I heard the plow, and I got worried. I wouldn't be able to get out of the road, and I would get drenched by the brown snow. I got it though. I'm just dramatic. I wanted to talk to you guys, or talk to myself out loud, I've been having a identity crisis lately. I think it's a bunch of different things, but one thing is, since I had the stroke, I get really bad seasonal depression. I never had that my whole life. But here we are in February and I'm just done. I'm done with the winter. I don't want it anymore. I'm sick of the snow. Well, not really. I like the snow. I like when it's chilly. I'm a fan of that. But the getting dark super early has really taken its toll on me. I'm sick of it. I don't want it anymore. It gets dark early and I get tired when it gets dark because I think it's nighttime. Well, I don't think it's nighttime, but you know, my circadian rhythm is all. These are some big frickin' shoes. Oof. I gotta wait for this plow because I gotta walk in the road up here. So I don't care about the identity crisis itself. I think it's really healthy. I think it's really good to try to evaluate your life. I think in our culture or society, or however you want to word it, we definitely paint ourselves into a box. We feel that's the core of our identity. I don't like that, and that doesn't, it's not who I am. I think before my stroke I was happy living in my little box, and not to sound so screwed up, but being a cog in the machine and just living on that autopilot mode. My identity was my work. Even my identity is a guitar player, the box of music that I painted myself into. My stroke took the job away, and when it took my job away, I think, and I'm pretty sure, that's when my identity started getting screwed up, because in our society, one question you ask upon meeting someone is, what do you do for work? I got to the point where explaining that answer got too difficult. People don't care. And I'm not blaming them. It's just, you know, they weren't there for the trip. Someone says, oh, what do you do for work? I say, well, what? At the moment, nothing. They've already made up their mind about me. And if I explain, maybe 5% of people care. I would say 95% of people are too preoccupied with such a difficult lesson for us. It's easy on paper, but put it into your own life. Who are you? Another part of that whole identity thing is, in my experience living in Mass, it's all ice too. My experience living in Mass, we put so much credibility. That ain't gonna work. That's why I feel like I can't walk anywhere. Because if I leave my house, I can go down to the school. The sidewalks are pretty much taken care of. Other than that, I have to walk in the road. And when it's like this, I'm gonna get splashed with all this shit. Oh well. We think that the person with one job on the resume is better as someone with 10 different jobs. And I understand the importance of being able to hold a job, but why do we discourage exploration and experimentation? It's actively discouraged and suppressed. That's bullshit. When I sit and think at the end of the day, and I start wondering about my identity, who I am, what's important to me, what makes me up, that's something I actively dislike. To me, identity is more of a collection of experiences. And sure, for a lot of jobs, you want the person with more experience, but this person can often be bound by their own box. They're likely more rigid and not really keen to new experiences and looking at other perspectives. And I'm generalizing. Another thing I think about in terms of identity is I meet people from other countries, and I'm often finding myself describing the people of different regions in the United States. And in my opinion, our identities can often be imprinted by our surroundings. I think the people of the Northeast, Mass specifically, we're pretty rude. We're pretty direct, and I think we're real. But at the core of that, we're rude. Like, I understand where it came from, in my opinion. I believe I do. And, you know, dealing with stuff like this and always being grumpy, and I don't want that as part of my identity. Beautiful. Man, that sky is awesome. I don't know why. This is a soundtrack for the sky. I don't know why old music has a feel of a gray day to me. I love it though. I think I feel like that because I used to go to a lot of shows in like fall, winter. So my brain kind of has like a specific tie with that, like a memory. Plus, they don't really make music like they used to, huh? I mean that literally, like the recording process, you know? Everything's digital now. Ooh. I almost fell too. Imagine slip and fall right into a cow patty. Man, I gotta shave, huh? I'm looking like absolute trash. Like a lot of memories of when I was in the hospital. And people would bring me outside in the wheelchair, and I'd sit in like the atrium or whatever you want to call it. It was cold like this, but one thing that I loved was how quiet it was, and it was around this time of year, and the birds were starting to chirp. And I always have like such a warm memory, warm softness for birdsong. Just makes me feel like I don't know. There's something special about it to me. I wasn't really at a good point in my life, but at the same time, it kind of was. I feel like at that point in my life that the world was so small, in a good way. It's so difficult to put into words. Something smells like really good laundry. Oof. I also love the yellow door. Cool. Can't really put my finger on it. I got nothing. Was it because I was so fresh after my stroke and just simply worrying about that and facing mortality? Was it because I was trapped at the hospital? I think it had a lot to do with being so close to an event that threatened my life and feeling like, hey Dougie, is that your poop? Feeling like the only thing that mattered was everything. Whereas you fast forward till now, still everything matters, but it matters in a, I don't know how to word it, more bullshit sense. I was thinking like how grateful I am for every moment, and maybe on one day I was able to write my name, and it was such a big milestone, and like everyone cared because everyone I surrounded myself with, whether I wanted to or not, like nurses and my visitors, like they all saw me when I couldn't, and that was the deal. And fast forward till now, we're not worrying about stuff like that. We're worrying about bills, what I'm gonna do with my life, laundry, normal people stuff. But I don't want to be a normal person, and there's a good part of me that isn't a normal person. There's no milestones, no celebrations of life, no trials, tribulations. Well, there is, but we're back to talking about mundane crap. I know the weight that paying bills has placed upon it, but this is not the trial or tribulation I'm talking about. We've put so much effort into this crap culturally, and I know I was talking about it before and I can't stop. This is who we've become. I hate that. What are we living for? It's depressing. But it's not supposed to be. It's like an eye-opener, you know? I don't mean it in some bullshit like corny, cringy, inspirational way. I mean it in a real way. Ugh. Mucus. Our time is so finite. We don't know when it's up. What we choose to do with it is so much more important than we think. And I think the gift of the stroke was to be able to grasp that concept better. Now I look at it through a different lens, for better or worse. And it's like, okay, well, how do you take advantage of your time and find and do things that make you feel alive? Things you can be proud of, things that you really care about. How do you do that stuff? And also find a way to make money and live a normal life, because unfortunately you have to do that to survive. I'm just so against trading so much valuable commodity is time for money. One of these things is pretty important, while the other one, your life, your time, that's everything. You can't really trade one for the other, right? You could always make another dollar. You can't give yourself more time, no matter what. I am 1000% positive people try. You know, it's a big joke. People eating babies, drinking baby blood, and doing all this weird shit. You take your conspiracy goggles off and realize that really happens. I'm not even talking about like the state of the world today. If nothing happened in the world, you know what I'm talking about. If this didn't happen, I would still be saying the same thing. Because I know there's people out there who think they're vampires. I know that. I know it. It sounds crazy to say, but it's been going on forever. There's people that think that's the quest for immortality. But I think what these people have done is, how do I word that? They traded what makes you up as a human, they traded that for nothing. For the quest of immortality. Let me pose a question. If you could be immortal, but you had to trade all that morality and take away what makes you human, would you do it? I'm talking you gotta give up the human experience, and you gotta do something that takes you. I gotta wrap it up because my glasses battery is almost dead. What I want to say is we're all suffering together. That's part of being human. There is unnecessary suffering, yes, but a lot of times there's beauty in the suffering. And if you go from someone that's suffering in certain ways to someone that's causing the suffering in other ways, I'm sorry, that's not what I want to do, even if it means living forever. That's just my opinion, though. I know we all cause suffering too, but you know what I'm talking about. Intentionally causing suffering. It's inhumane. How did I end up here? I'm talking about birds and I'm talking about people eating babies. Okay. Well, look how pristine that snow is. Wow. Looks like a painting. I really like that. Perfect white with the blue sky. That's so freaking awesome looking. My balance is so messed up. Even that. Beautiful.